The Isle, Devblog number 71, August 1st, 2026. Felipe, lead programmer. I have been busy refactoring some stuff related to the game's security and bug fixing, but also some updates to mechanics. Migration system. Most of the system is being updated. The idea behind migrations are kept almost the same, but the way they work both in code and for players is different. This will allow us to use the good parts of the current in-game system and remove what hasn't been working. Also included are patrol zones, which were always designed to be more than just another place to go for food. Footsteps VFX. This one is mostly code-wise. We are updating the system that we have been using since working with Cascade. Niagara allows us to use one single master VFX and adapt scales and weights instead of having several per size per animal. Entomb Save. This isn't exactly a refactor, more like a new feature, though indeed it changes how saves work. Basically, this will allow players to keep a character stored after entombing in case you don't want to play with the same animal again, but also don't want to lose your progress. So now you can keep the animal in a special save slot and play with a different animal. Keep in mind, if you use the same species that you have in the entomb, it will override it and you lose the non-replicated animal. But you will get a warning first. No accidents. Besides a lot of work in generic systems and bug fixes, as always. Wedge, sound designer. This month, the audio team have been working towards finalization and polish of the Camarasaurus and Avaceratops call sound suites. In addition to these two creatures, with Baryonyx's outstanding subadult sound complete, work has begun on the preliminary stages for Spinosaurus's calls, involving recording and sourcing material to work with to establish the beginning sound palette with early stages of drafting concepts. Camarasaurus has gone through numerous iterations of concepts, and we have now landed on a finalized set of vocals, which is going through final adjustments, cleanup, and polish now. They have been propagated out into variations. The broadcast and attract rely on soothing song-like sounds, using sources that have a similar sonic quality to the recognizable sound we expect from a sauropod, but drawing from slightly different sounds. Produced by both animal sounds and props. Its danger call is a short, siren-like wail, pulling from some interesting bird sounds, maintaining some of the song-like qualities, but underpinned with a punchy, deep grunt and structured as a to-the-point call for alarm. Due to the size and subdued nature of this creature, we landed on a threatened call that consists of a booming groan produced internally with harmonic overtones that have a unique tonal character. For this, I found a combination of a deep whale groans and processed prop source sounds generated from friction and a crow hunting call played through vicious liquid, creating bubbles that act as a resonating chamber. Finally, the generic call uses a similar sound palette to the threatened call, utilizing the crow call again. These groans and gurgles have some natural vowel movement, which is accented with some complex filter movement that help the sound convey a sense of communication. These groans are given the addition of large purring rumbles from elephants to soften the threatening edge. I have also begun some work-in-progress changes to vocal call reverb, delay, and spatialization effects to be more substantial in preparation for Kamara's eventual introduction, as this will be a crucial element to the success of these calls, but will need to be evaluated on all creatures before it can be implemented. Avaceratops calls are nearing completion as well. The threaten, broadcast, and generic calls are all in the stage of final adjustments to polish, with initial design and variations created there undergoing some final tweaks, ensuring the tuning across tonal elements are homogeneous and the mix is well balanced. Its danger call has had the initial design created and will be propagated out into variations, following the polish of the previous calls with the attract call to round out following not far behind it. Friend, 2D artist. As many of you have seen through horror test clips floating around online, we've been busy at work making a lot of skins. We're bringing back many skins not seen since Legacy that you can enjoy in our current skin system. Old classics like the four-eyed Triceratops and the Python Omniraptor are slowly making their way into the game. I'm also working on making a set of simpler skins for each of our animals. These skins will be constructed slightly different from our typical defaults, which will add a different flavor of skins to play. Images are better than words. Hypno, QA lead. Over the past several weeks, a large part of our QA efforts has been focused on Ostroraptor as it moves through hard testing. Getting a new playable ready for release is much more than making sure the creature itself functions correctly. Every new addition has to be tested against a long list of existing mechanics to ensure it interacts properly with the rest of the game. Balancing, interacting with objects and carrying them, diets, new and existing abilities, mutations, how it feels in general to survive as, and countless edge cases all needs to be verified before a creature is considered ready. Any one of these could have issues with new playables, with the worst case scenario being that they could cause clients or servers to crash, and as we introduce more mechanics, this list becomes even larger. Alongside gameplay, every required animation, sound, visual effect also needs to be implemented and validated. Even relatively small issues can become much more noticeable once hundreds of players begin using a creature in ways we never have anticipated. Those of you that read a previous post of mine have seen what happens when we allow an Oviraptor to use the Omniraptor's pounce. It is not a pretty sight. Ostroraptor has also introduced entirely new mechanics that require their own dedicated testing. One example is its ability to jump from the surface of water, which opens up a range of new interactions and cases that simply haven't existed before. Mechanics like these do not just need to work in isolation. They need to behave consistently alongside every other gameplay system already in place. What happens if you use a Deinosuchus lunge at a person mid-jump? You would expect this to simply grab them and work seamlessly out of the box. But unfortunately, that is not the case. We've also continued testing the new hill sliding mechanic. While the feature itself has been progressing well, testing has uncovered several unexpected interactions with existing systems. For example, we discovered situations where the players could still activate certain abilities while sliding, creating unintended behavior that needed to be addressed, such as resting or using charged abilities, such as the Tyrannosaurus Crush. These are exactly the kind of issues horde testing is designed to uncover before a feature reaches the live branch. While internal QA isn't always the most visible part of development, it's an important part of ensuring new content arrives in a stable and polished enough state for the horde testing. Every issue caught during QA testing is one less problem players have to encounter after release, and will continue refine these systems as testing progresses. Speaking of which, I recently reconstructed QA and made changes to our testing workflow. With that, I am currently looking for more voluntary QA testers within EU and AU time zones. If you have any spare time to help contribute to the project and assist us in testing new characters and mechanics before they reach the hard testing branch, then please submit an application to the following form. Kiss and Kitten, Animation Supervisor. The animation team is just about wrapping up on the Avaceratops sparring, so I'm looking forward to getting it in internal testing so I can make any adjustments it may need. The animation team is still working on the para, bringing it steadily closer to completion. On an individual note, I've spent a lot of this month doing animation revisions and additions. Ostroraptor can now jump out of the water to give it an easier time navigating water-based obstacles. It turns more smoothly on the water surface, and it can make more use of its killing claws with few animations. There are also revisions for Oviraptor, general sliding, and some new directional attack animations for the Triceratops that should have them feeling more reactive, which is something I felt needed for a while to allow for an easier time defending their rear. There are changes coming to Diabloceratops attacks, so they recover a bit faster as well. We have many irons on the fire right now with so many creatures needing testing all at once. So next month, should things go according to my grand master plans, I'll be reviewing in no particular order Oviraptor, Baryonyx, Camarasaurus, Quetz, and Avaceratops as well. May even get into some more human animations, we'll see. Lastly, I've started exploring Spinosaurus, since it's the new playable after the par. Running the rig through the animations. Running the rig through the motions so I can assure the newest rig has the additions needed to really allow it to perform on a scale worthy of its embodiment. I intend for it to be a very impressive specimen. That is all for now. Catch you next time.